So, good morning. Good morning. It's not quite, it's probably a little after morning in, probably 2 in the afternoon or so in Split, Croatia. This is Orbix, Split, Croatia. Take a quick look around here. I toyed with the idea of putting my flight plan in before I signed in for the flight. Maybe I should have, but we'll see. Yeah, so that looks pretty good, right? Where's my mouse there? That looks nice. The ramp looks good, maybe overly clean. Always annoys me a little bit. You know, we always want the world to look true, but then we want it clean, right? And you know, if you go to Google and you look at an airport and you look at the ramps, you know, for an airport, you know, for a third party, for any airport, you know, be it a third party airport like Orbix or Just Sim or something like that, and then you go to the real airport, you see oil stains everywhere, nothing this pristine, you know. It's a little smudge right there, and that's it, you know. You know, jet fuel leaks out of these things, hydraulic fluid, all kinds of things. And these ramps can look pretty darn bad. And I mean, it's just, you know, right before I got to this airport, they just had a amazing cleaning crew out here. But, you know, what do you do, right? What do you do? Let's go over here real quick. I don't know if the inside of the terminal is modeled or not. Looks like it is. Yeah, it is. Don't look too close. You know, I was looking at one airport. Fire department. It'd be nice if they had fire trucks in there, right? I've seen one that did. Not Split, but something else. I think this is the only version of Split. The thing I really like about this airport is that runway, how curved it is. The way it's curved looks really, really nice. And it's cool to take off on. Well, we don't know if it's cool to take off on because we haven't taken off on, but it was cool to land on the other day, which I blew completely. The visual approach for this airport, there's two of them, and there's a VOR approach. So if you're unlucky enough to come in and the winds are favoring runway 23, which is coming this way, then you're going to do a visual approach that turns in and rolls out a mile, 1.6 miles on final. So none of this 5-mile crap. And so I look forward to coming back to this airport and doing it right. But I did my usual 5-mile thing, which put me on the other side of this hill right here. But, you know, it looked okay from a distance, because these don't look, you know, they don't look like big mountains, you know, not, at least they look okay. And I thought, well, alright, this will work, because I mean, these mountains are big, 7,300 feet, you know, and I was coming down, and we're just about at sea level, not quite, I think it's 500 feet or something, and you know, so I was going to be well below that. So, but as I was coming down, I was looking at my terrain radar, and things were getting red and yellow all over the place. And I came down over here, and I'm sure I was 500 feet. And then when I made the turn behind here, I was below this peak here, and I knew I was in trouble. So I climbed back up, got over this hill, and then did a, you know, dive and drive down to here, put full flaps on, idle power, and gear out, just descended, and then bled off speed after I got over the runway. You know, it worked out okay, but obviously I would have had issues there. But yeah, I look forward to coming back in. So if you're looking for a challenging airport, this one, and when you see the SID that I picked today. It's a weird one. The wind is definitely favoring runway 5 going this way. You can hear it. It's gusting. Let's see. It is. There we go. 060 at 18 gusts to 29. And I think that's the normal wind. And I suspect it's the normal wind all summer long. But yeah, this looks like a really nice place to come visit. Nice beaches. Croatia. Some city. Alright, so I have not done anything. Let's see, so electrical. And ground power. I am going to check to make sure my ground power hooked up. Let's see, so index, next, mod set, on, good. Because this might take a minute. So back to index, pause init, flight plan. Do the easy part first. LD. It might be okay, but I'm going to fly the whole thing because, you know, why not? It's not a long flight. LDSP, LGKR, LGKR. But I noticed that my planning time, at least right now with European airports, partly because of the limitations of the airplane, partly because of me being unfamiliar with flying in Europe, it's about double, you know, if not more sometimes. This one might not be too bad. I click there. Okay, so SIPAL L607, L607, DBK, DBK, to L187, L187, RODON, and 732, 732, PITAS, P-I-T-A-S, yeah, A-S. To LGKR. So yes, back to Corfu. Departure arrival will be departing runway 5. And we'll be on the SIPAL 1W. There it is. 5. Which it goes about it. You take off and you make a circle over the airport, sort of. I'll show it to you. And departure arrival. And PITAS 2A next. One reason why it takes so long to flight plan is because you have to rifle through all of these friggin' let's see, 2. Let me have a look. You have to rifle through all those stars and SIDs. It's just, you know, it's just massive. Okay, so Kirk, yeah, that's where I want to go, actually. R2. I'll show you a couple things here. So here's the VORZ. So I come in. Let's see, here's the PITA 2S. You fly into this VOR, then you fly out to this VOR, and then you make a right turn. So KRK, Kirkira. I'll fly out to here, and then start the approach from there. The approach is, I don't know if that's an arc or not. I don't think it's an arc. I think it's just a line. So we'll see how the flight plan sets it up. We've got this 153 lead radial here. A lead radial is a radial that warns you that it's time to start your turn, which we could program in. And so we'll come up to this VOR, go to this VOR, make a right turn, and then real quick we'll hit that lead radial and come in on whatever that is, FD34. And this is a VOR approach, so it's non-precision. And the MDA is 2,000 feet. CDFA. It doesn't really matter because it's the same for both. And hopefully I've reloaded my Corfu scenery. Well, CDFA stands for the California Department of Food and Agriculture, of course. Or the North Carolina Council of Development and Finance. Clute Wealth Management. Maybe if continuous descent final approach. Okay. There we go. 108.8 final approach course is 343. Okay, and then I was going to show this. Here's the SID, and if you're confused, it's understandable. This is what you do. You take off here. You can turn right here at what is it? I think it's 600 feet. Wait a second. SIPAL. This is confusing. I mean, if you're Cat A, you go to K160. If you're Cat C and D, you go to K185. And then, so you climb to 480. We're a Cat AB, so we go to K160. Okay, and then, let's see, and then K185. I had this figured out. No, SP800. So climb to 480, SP800, and then I think K160 is the speed. Yeah, 160 knots. Knots 160 or less. And then, so I got to stay below 160. That's a bear. And then, and these are takeoff categories. What takeoff category am I? go. Okay, so we are speed of VREF, if specified. So our VREF is going to be we'll have to figure that out. It's 1.3 times VSO at the at the maximum certified weight. The maximum landing weight of those establishments is category A speed 91, category B 91 to 121. Okay. So I'm going to go with category C, which means I can go up to 185, which makes a lot of sense. 160 is really slow for a citation. So anyway, where was I going? You take off here. Trying to show both. Hard to see. Take off here, climb to 480 feet, then you commence a right turn, go direct to SP801, then a right turn to SP800, then to 801, and then you come back to the VOR, and then you fly out 053 to SP805, and then you come out here to SIPAL. That's the departure procedure. You know, this, and I'm sure that what happens is, in the real world, that, you know, a citation would get direct out here. But we'll do it. We'll do it. Because it's not a long flight. And we get to see split. So I'll get it on autopilot fairly quickly. Question is, what's on the legs page? And come on. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. So that's pretty good. And then let's step through it. So there's 2 SIPALs in there. Okay, so there's PITAS, and that's actually about perfect, so I don't have a lot to do here. So I'll fix that discontinuity because I've got no use for it. And let's go to legs. That's right. Greater than 75. That's right. Flight level 1105000. That's right. And 8,000. No, 8,000 or above. That's right. And that's it. It's pretty good. Right, now where's SIPAL? There it is. Exact that. Next. And let's fix that. Alright, so we're pretty good. Or menu. Let's get the chart up while I'm thinking about it. Not much to it. Taking off this way. Taxiway Alpha. Okay. What is that other discontinuity? Oh. Looks like that. And the missed approach is something to behold. So we'll have to make sure that we've got the Garetza VOR in, because there's a 20 DME arc. We'll display that. Alright, so performance. And there was no wind on the weather for Corfu, so I went with the forecast, which slightly shows us favoring runway 34 05017. And it's all over the map. The wind's all over the map here. Oh, clear. What am I doing? Perfect net. I'm going up to 190. 190. 2 packs. And 50 pounds. Clear. And I need more fuel. I need 3189. That'll do. I'll take a little extra. Return. Oops. And then we'll do takeoff. 05017. Temperature 16. Which is 61. And altimeter is 1012. It always shows inches no matter what you do. So click next. Send that. I can't change that over until I turn this on. So there's that. And then transition altitude is 10,000. So let's go back to perf. VNav. And we'll put in, I think that's how you put that. Yep. And then transition at Corfu, 5,000. Next. What did that say? 190? Oh, that's okay. Transition is 5,000. And on this one, I don't think you can put 5,000 like you did on the other one. See, it says invalid, so you have to put in clear, and then just put in 50. Don't know what's up with that. So we're done. A lot of stuff. Let's get the checklist. Battery switch is on, emergency light switch are on, standby flight display switch is on, fuel quantity is checked, avionics switch is dispatch, parking brake set, wheel chocks are removed, cabin doors closed, passenger briefing complete, seats, belts, pedals adjusted, secure, Exterior lights. Let's get those on. I should, when I click all this stuff on, I was asking myself, what am I missing? And I'm always missing something, and that's what it is. I should be putting the nav light on. Climate control selector has to go off. Throttles are idle. Start number 1. So yeah, we're gonna fly this whole thing. Take off here, turn, turn, turn. And then at some point I'm going to come back to split. I'm going to fly that visual approach. Paid for the bloody airport. I should use it. Number 1 is start at number 2. Those are solar panels right there. They're supposed to be. I've seen better. Well, no, that's just roofing. I thought I saw them on a satellite image that they were solar panels, but they're buildings. More likely I'm wrong than they are, so. Started. Good. Okay, so let's get our ground power off. Ground power's off. Climate control goes on. Avionics is on. Safety switch is on. Flight controls. Speed brake. Flaps. Confirm set. Hydraulic pressure is good. Avionics switch is on. The climate control selector is normal. Passenger safety lights are on. Trims are checked and set. Flight controls are checked. Speed brakes, ground spoilers checked. Flaps are checked and set. Hydraulic pressure is checked. Engine only. Anti-ice is not required. Takeoff data is confirmed. Set. Avionics. Let's see. So we're kind of a little bit constrained. So we've got to be below 5,500 as our first constraint. And I don't think... I tried to do a VNAV departure and it laughed at me. So we'll put that in there. And then the next one is 7,500. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay, and I can go here and put that on. So now I've got my VNAV constraints up here. And should I turn it in closer? Maybe. Takeoff data is confirmed set and runway heading for, let's see. First off, let's have a look here. So now they're calling 260 at 8 at Corfu. Showing map. And runway heading is 049. But I'll probably be on L or V or on LNAV when I'm departing. Where was I? Avionics are set. Autopilot engaged, disengaged.
Autopilot.
Altimeter. This would be a lot easier if I didn't have to keep doing this stuff. There we go. HPA, and the altimeter is 1012. There we go. Altimeter pressurization, ECAS after doors. And I believe that means ECAS is okay. I can go here and look at that. And since it's empty, since there's nothing on it, it's blank. That's why it's showing the engine. Okay, so. Alright, so we're ready to go. Clear left. Clear right as far as I can see. Here. Yeah, we're gonna turn left. So taxi light on, park and brake off. Hard turn. I'm not on VATSIM. Should I be on VATSIM? No, nobody's on. So I'm gonna stop here because I got some things to do. And if you're confused, you know, this is the runway hold short line. Just you know, sometimes I explain this. You can't cross the double yellow line without a clearance. You know, if you're on this side, you're crossing the dash line. You can always cross the dash line. But, you know, that's why it's arranged the way it is. The double yellow line stops you, and it applies when you're on that side of it. So if you're not sure what that means, ice protection system. Do our simple test. Someday I hope that actually does something to the N1 or N2 and the battery amps. Rotor bias systems checked, seats upright, flaps checked and set. Speed brakes are 0%, trims are set. Someday I won't check that and they won't be set and I'll be screwed. Crew briefing. This will be a standard departure off of runway 5 with a close and right turn out. Initial altitude is 5,500 feet. If I get any abnormal indication, I will, below 70 knots, I will abort, stop on the runway, make a broadcast. Beyond 70 knots, I'll only stop for engine fire, engine failure, loss of control, or something that makes me think the airplane won't fly. Beyond V1, I am committed for the flight. Plan A is ATC instructions. There is no ATC. Plan B is runway, oh, not runway heading, is the right turnout. let's see, right turnout to a course of 147. You know, it would be great if they had a minimum safe altitude chart on that thing. All recoveries back to split. At least that's the plan. TCAS is TARA, radar, traffic. That's good. Next page here. Go around buttons pushed. I'm going to put on nav. It's not going to, so nav is in standby. Let's see. Battery amps. Checked. Ice protection systems as required, so we are ready to go. Exterior lights, landing strobe logo, and so we're lit up like a Christmas tree, as they say. Looks clear out there. Back taxi. Going uphill, so we have to put some power to this thing. Looks like a fascinating place, right? So they do have a turnaround place, but it's still on the runway. Those mountains are bigger than they appear. Alright, clean. Let's see, so we got everything done, heading is synced up, and we are ready to go. Anything else I can do? No, we gotta get going. Let's see, so lights are set, icing set, Transponders TARA, flaps are set, switches are set. Let's see, takeoff, 5,500, 1012, good. Here we go. So we'll watch the radar altimeter, which is right here. Airspeed's alive, 70 knots. Here we go. Gear up, flaps up, yaw damper, IAS. We gotta stay below 185. Landing gear. There's 480, right turn. Put on the autopilot. Let it do its stuff. So we're coming up to SP800. At SP801, we can't be above 5,500. I think that peak over there is 7,300.
Altitude. And then SPL is 7,500 and below, and that is right there. And I believe the real CJ4 handles VNAV departures. So, you know, enjoy the fact that for now we don't, that we have to do a little bit of manual stuff, because you learn a lot more doing it that way. And what do you do if your nav system goes defunct? $7,500. Yes, up. Oh, and I'm speeding. Well, a little, not much.
Altitude.
And then our next restriction is 11,000. It's right here. And they have these procedures that you have to follow like this in a non-radar environment. You know, so if the radar goes down, you'll BS up. No, that's good enough. Then they won't give you a vector, obviously. You know, they'll keep you on these SIDs. And stars. You'll be expected to fly the arcs and all that kind of stuff. They won't give you a vector. So the two reasons for all these SIDs and stars is for, one is for traffic flow and the other one is for non-radar environment. And some airports have really, really good backup systems. And some don't. Okay, so our speed restriction is gone, so we can go on up to 250. And we're hitting the transition altitude, so let's take care of that.
Altitude.
I could have accelerated to 210 over the VOR, or before the VOR. And we're at 11,000 feet, so we can accelerate on up if we want. And that's it. We can go on up to 19,000. So landing light off. It's a short flight. I'll shut the seat belts off for now. So flaps are up, gears up, speed brakes up. The altimeter's set. Let's see. Landing gear, flaps, throttles, yaw damper, autopilot, ice protection systems, passenger lights, buttons, landing lights, buttons, pressurizations, altimeter. I'll hit IAS.
Yeah, I expect runway 23 is not. I just happened to pick a day, a rare day, where runway 23 happened to be the active. I expect it's not active very often. So from here, I'm gonna from Corfu, I'm gonna head down to Crete, and debating on where to go from there. Might go to Milas, which is in southwestern Turkey. So there's a lot of history that happened there. A lot of history happened in Crete too. The world's first flushing toilets happened in Crete. Let's get this thing going. There. Much better view going south than going north.
Altitude.
So it's a short flight. Let's get our stuff going here. Show on map. And we're going into 3-4. Perf approach. Weather, yeah, 260 at 9, 260 at 9. Temperature down there is 20, which is 68. And then 1002, really? 1002. And next, so VREF is 104. And our wind is 9 knots, so half of 9 is 4.5, so we're good. The app needs to be, so you take the wind, which is 9 knots, you divide it in half, it's 4.5 knots. So you want this to be, you want VAP to be at least 5 knots greater than VREF then. So half of 9 is 4.5, so 5, so that would make us 109. Would be good, and some folks add the gust factor too, so there's that. And we're flying the VOR, and as I mentioned, there's 2 VORs. So in nav 1, let's see, let's get that up. There it is. In nav 1, we will put in 108.8. Com 108.8. Nav 1, and in com 2, we will, or nav 2, we'll put in 114.7. 114.7. And we will menu. Honestly, if I did do a missed approach, I could flip over to nav 2. Couldn't I? Well, I'm gonna make it visible. I don't know that I can. Nav 1. Yeah, no, you can't. Well, you can, I think, but what you have to do is go here and... No, that's bearing pointer 2. Nav source. I don't think I can. Yeah, you can't. Let's see, so if I did. Yeah, you can do it that way. But that's a little tedious. Alright, so escape that. I've got the pointer up this way, it'll work. And I could flip it over if I have time, which I would have time. My missed approach altitude, well, my minimums, first my minimums, ref, and let's make that 2000. Go. So that's refs, and that's confirmed, and that's good. And so what else? Missed approach, turn right, max speed of 185 onto track 159, then intercept R114 to GAR 118 DME, then right turn. Intercept follow 20 DME. Arc, then passing R182 GAR, turn left heading intercept 226 KRK. Wow. So for the missed approach, you start out on GAR and then you switch to KRK. Climb to 4,000. 4,000 is the missed approach altitude. And we come in on the approach at 2,900. So I actually need to do that. And scattered 4,500. There's no altitudes going down, so it would just be the approach, which is 2900. VNav. Click the button. So, minimums are set. The only thing I don't have set is the course on the VOR, which is 343. So, set heading, nav, course, 343. Oops. And nav, and we are back on LNAV. And transition altitude is 5,000. 1002. The winds down here can be pretty, as I understand it, can be pretty vicious in the summer. I'm not sure that we're there yet, but they have a wind called the Meltemi. And the wind on the surface can be between like 30 and 60 miles an hour. It's always clear, brings a dry wind, but it's one of the reasons for why the weather's always so nice in the summer. But hot. So minimums are set, VNav is set, frequency is set, both VORs are set. Approach is put in. I don't know what the minimums are on other approaches. Let's see if we go to VORY. 2000, VRX, they're all 2000. There is an RNAV where you can go down to 770. Which I could have done. But I do ILS as an RNAV so much, I just need, non-precision. Need some practice with non-precision approaches. Wanted to fly last night. Man, there was so much VATSIM on last night. And I had been working all day long. And I was just exhausted. And I was sat there thinking about it. And I said, no, I'm not doing it. Let's just let it go by. They had approach controls. Columbus, Georgia was open. Charleston was open. I think Orlando was open. Jacksonville might have been open. Miami was open. All those approach controls. So what is my wind? I'm curious why this thing only had me go up to flight level 190. I checked 2 sources. Both of them said right about the same altitude. Based on distance, I would have gone up to 300. But I do like flying lower, so I didn't complain. But, you know, I had to carry a lot more fuel as a result of this. If I would have gone up higher, I wouldn't have had to carry so blasted much fuel. You know, I've got a butt kicker. I bought it a year ago. They had them on, you know, I think the normal price for them was like $199 or something like that, and I got it on sale. So I was like, wow, you know, I'll give it a try. We'll see if butt kickers are worth it, and I think they are. I've got it on my desk instead of on my chair, and I like it there. And I was just actually thinking, what if I got a second one for someplace else? You know, and so I went and I looked at the price of them. They're up to over $300. And I don't know. It's just, are you kidding me? It just seems way overpriced. I actually did a Google and researched, and you can get a subsonic woofer and a amplifier for about $110. You know, that does the same thing. It's not a woofer. It's a vibrator, and you can get them both on it. You can, you know, there's somebody that sells a amplifier on eBay for $60. It's a well-known brand, or you can get one very similar to it on Amazon for about $80. And then you can get the little vibrator thing for, you know, $50, something like that. So I think Butt Kicker is leveraging its name recognition. I'd be very cautious about buying anything at those prices. They're just in demand, so they've jacked up their prices. Not worth it. And besides, like I said, they're designed really to fit on your chair, but I put mine on my desk because sometimes it feels really weird. I've got my hand on my yoke, and it's smooth as glass. There's no vibration whatsoever, and my chair's vibrating away. And I said, this doesn't make any sense. So I put it on my desk, and now my chair has a little vibration to it because it comes through my desk. You can feel it. My desk is attached to the floor, and it vibrates the floor just a little bit, and so I can feel it in my chair, but it's I can feel it in my yoke and in my throttles, which feels more worth the money, you know. So didn't need to after all. And I mean, the one thing that's nice about the Butt Kicker is it's one wire that goes from the transmitter to your, you know, and it's a solid wire. Don't get me wrong, these things are well made. But it's one wire, it's a thick wire, it's got a
breakaway thing to where if you pull on the wire that it'll disconnect. But if you attach it to a desk, you don't need that. You know, you don't need to worry that you'll move your chair and pull on the wire. So those other little devices would do the trick easily. But I've got this nice little vibration in my yoke right now. I can feel it. It feels really cool. Like I said, for $100 you could do the same thing. And I think I paid a little over $100 for a butt kicker when it was on sale. I'd have to go back and look and see what I paid. And is it worth it? I don't know. $100 maybe. What I want is a fulcrum yoke. Really thinking hard about that. I truly think that that's... I mean, the Yoko yoke is great, but it's... what is it, $1,000? And the fulcrum is under 400. I don't get the Yoko. I mean... But the thing that's great about them is, I mean, even if you're flying a Cessna, you can pull the yoke all the way back to your stomach. You know, it's got a big throw to it. And so when I was looking for a yoke, I wanted one that had that kind of a throw to it. And if I'm gonna spend that kind of money, or spend money on it, those two have a big throw to them. And, you know, I mean, I like the Alpha, except it's just got a shorter throw, that's all. But the rotation looks good, and people say it's stiff. So 16 minutes to top of descent. Got a 5-knot headwind. That's all. That's cool. So tonight, I don't know if they'll have ATC on or not, because I mean, when it's loaded up like that on a Saturday, you won't see it on a Sunday usually. Europe is quiet. England. England is pretty much covered. Germany, they're always covered. I love it. I never fly in Germany. I need to start. But I mean, this is a good place to, you know, I would say Greece. You know, if you're gonna, I don't know. I don't know about other airplanes. I don't know about the nav systems. I really, really want a G1000 equipped or G3000 equipped airplane to try out the nav systems to see how they would handle all of these SIDs and stars with their curves and their teardrop turns and all that. But so far, you know, the aircraft developers are staying away from those systems in droves. They're just not making them. Not, you know, old school navigation would work too, and I have nothing against it. You know, a GNS 530. Coronado made that. What was it? A Seminole? And I've got it, but God, it is. There's so much to like and dislike about that airplane. And I know they've got a PC-12 coming out, and I'm just going, you know, somebody else is making a PC-12. I'll wait. Some people will buy both, and that's good. But I'm about done with Coronado. They make an airplane and they forget that they made it. I mean, I swear. You never see fixes after a month. It's, you know. And that, you know, their HSI needs some work. It really, if they wanted to have that airplane tedious. But other than that, I loved it. I thought it was a great airplane. It's just that for any serious IFR work, you know, and they've got all the nav systems. But in X-Plane, when they made a PA-46, even though they were handed the nav system, they're handed the G1000, they still found ways to screw it up royally. It was terrible. All I'll say is thank God for Aerobasque. Their planes aren't perfect, but they're very, very good. And that Phenom is something.
just in case. Wow, what the heck? My frame rate's good. I hope that straightens out. So I might go fly over in the far... Well, see, I need to go into Spain, right? I need to go check out all this cool scenery that they've made in Spain. But I've got it in my head I want to do some flying in the Far East. Japan, Korea, Taiwan, maybe China, I don't know. They've been pissing me off. Vietnam, maybe. And Singapore. What is that down there? Oh. So they do have an update coming out for this airplane where they're going to decouple the MFSs and the or MFCs and the MFDs. I don't know what else is going to be in it, but I know that. I'd love them to implement the fixed page. So that's Albania down there, by the way. So yeah. Crete, Heraklion will probably be next. And then, like I said, Milas. Miletus, that area. Ionia, as it used to be called. Missed approach is set. VNav is set. Altitude is set. Approach looks good. And by the way, the crashes on my system were apparently caused by the Orbix shipping add-on. It's not made by Orbix, it's made by some company and they sell it. See something or other. That was causing so many crashes. So when I was trying to fly into Thessaloniki, I would get a crash random times. And I removed a bunch of stuff, and then I got thinking about that one. Look at these clouds, wow. And I just said, you know, I bet I know. Because that, you know, those traffic add-ons, that just not just boats, but airplanes, wreak havoc on people's systems. And so I put everything back but that, and I haven't had a single crash now in a week. And I've left my sim on. Sometimes I'll be sitting there on the ground just with my sim running just for whatever, and then it vanishes. And I last couple of days I just turned it on and put it at an airport. I think I did it in where was it? Someplace in Virginia, and I just let it sit there, and it was there for like 9-10 hours, not a single crash. There's not a lot of boats around there, so I did it again at Milas actually yesterday, because I was looking at the airport thinking, do I really want to spend $30 for a stupid airport? And you know, because I mean they really like that airport. Whoever developed it really likes what they did there. But I mean, on the cheap end, that airport is $30. It's like, wow. You know, up there with. I mean, there's not a lot of airports where it's $30, but they've got others that are like 15. But that one they just asked a lot of money for it. And there's two companies that make. Just Sim also makes a Milas. So I'm looking at Just Sim's. Theirs is 20. It was on sale, and I just missed it. But I think theirs is 20. But I mean, for that much money, I want the palm trees to wave a little bit, you know, and shudder in the breeze, and have wing walkers, all that stuff. And they didn't. But the inside looks really good if you want to go inside. Down we go. Icing's on. Wow, look at that. remember how flying into dense clouds used to freak me out in the sim. Even in the sim. Let alone doing an approach. It still makes me nervous, but I do. You know, that's why I do it. That's why I like going to places that have weather. Yeah, something's up with this VOR2 business. I don't know. Maybe it's straightened out now. Let's try 50%. That looks scary, huh? Fly into that. Probably not scary. Oh, one thing I do want to do. Now that's screwed up, huh? I'm gonna shut that back off. I'll have to do it manually if we have to do a missed approach. And that's something I've been meaning to do more of, missed approaches. Especially at an airport like this. I mean, I've got a moment here. Here's the missed approach. Wait, is this the missed approach? Oh, this is the Y. I want to bring up the Z. Yeah. So you fly out here, you come down here, you intercept this radial, fly it out to 18 DME, and then fly this 20 DME arc to this radial, then fly out, and then fly a 23 DME arc off of that one. I mean, wow. And you have to do it all manually with this airplane. Slow down. Transition altitude is 5,000. Let's get the lights on.
May I have your attention, please? The captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. Please fasten your seatbelt and shoulder harness at this time. Thank you.
So the VOR is pointing correctly now, so that's good. This pointer. So we go left right here. Also want them to do ice on this airplane. But you know, the guys that are working on this airplane don't have anything to do with the 3D model. They need to have somebody do some things to this airplane. Look how bright that screen is. And I keep hoping that Flight Tampa will come out with their Corfu. Even though hopefully I've put it back on. I got a Corfu off of the .org, or not the .org, the flightsim.to. So it said the cloud bases were at 4,700. That looks about right. Altimeter's 1001. And this is a free airplane. Hard to believe. Okay, when we hit that fix right there, Kirk 3, I'm gonna take the dog leg and go to Green Needles.
Altitude.
Or it may switch automatically, I'm not sure if it will or not. Rain.
I said I was going to go to Green Needles. I didn't. I set this for 2,000. And I'm going to disconnect the autopilot. Well, I'm going to go to Green Needles.
Autopilot.
And there's the airport. And we're on nav. God, I'm doing 250 knots.
Minimums.
Yep, right there. Sleep at the wheel. Flaps 1. Gear down. Speed brake off. And it's pointing to the VOR, that's why we're offset here. I'll just cut over here. This airplane's not bad at losing speed. Not like the 737, which is a real challenge. Alright, so flaps full. There we go. Beautiful. Definitely got a crosswind.
Altitude.
Somebody appreciates me. Speed brake off, flaps up. And icing. So yeah, this is free. I need to get back to flying that thing. It's fun. That's a good airplane. It's got those nav issues that, but it's still fun. Has a real nice feel to it.
Right. Very good. Park and brake on. Let's see, where are we? Speed brakes, flaps, pitot heat, ice protection systems, radar on standby. Let's not fry anybody. Traffic off. Exterior lights are good. Parking brake is set. Wheels are checked. Emergency light switch. Standby flight. Display. Avionics off. Climate control selector off. Ice protection is off. Throttles are idle. Cut off. Exterior lights off. All lights off. Battery switch off. And step outside. This, if you haven't seen Durrell's in Corfu, it's great. And it's, I don't remember where, but the house that it was filmed at is, I don't know, it's somewhere around here. It's on, I think it's in a cove, but you can see mainland Greece from their house. Yeah. That looks broken to me, not scattered. Oh, broken 4,500. Now they're showing 8,000 broken. So scattered at 4,500. Yep, Greece. Good flight, good flight. So from here, probably down to Crete, and then probably to Miletus, or I could go to Miletus and then Crete, and then make my way over to Palermo, and then possibly go over to Spain. I don't know, I want to spend some more time in Greece, but I want to do it probably in a different airplane, something flying lower. You know, just to really get a sense for the country. And then, and I also want to fly over, like I said, in the Far East, which actually has some VATSIM controllers right now. I mean, they're staying up late. All of Indonesia, all the Philippines, and all of Japan all have controllers right now. So yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. If you want to see something in particular, leave it in the comments, and like, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff.